UCLA has suspended and launched a racial discrimination investigation into Godenklin, an accounting professor at the business school there. Now, what's his crime? He refused to move or alter final exams for African American students in the wake of George Floyd's death. Thousands of students signed a petition demanding that Klein lose his job, and the dean called his conduct troubling. Things are so out of control, the professor is now under police protection after receiving death threats. Professor Klein joins me exclusively now. Professor, how did your supervisor tell you originally to handle all this?
One day before the allegedly infamous email that I sent out, I got a directive, as did my colleagues, that we should absolutely continue the traditional policy of the university and give the exam as scheduled, with only the normal excuses such as you're in a car accident, you had a death in the family. I followed the specific direction my boss gave me, and the school knows it.
Here's a passage from the petition signed by 20,000 people to have you fired. We ask for your support in having Professor Klein's professorship terminated for his extremely insensitive, dismissive, and woefully racist response to his students' request for empathy and compassion, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have to read the whole thing. So, Professor, did any other teachers grant exemptions for black students, and why were you singled out, if not?
Well, many people did grant the exemptions. I can leave it to others to figure out why I was the one who was chastised for the action. In my case, I've been there 39 years. I've always been outspoken as an advocate of equal treatment of all students. I've always been known for compassion, but I'm somebody who's on the verge of retirement, and best I can figure out, they needed a sacrificial lamb. That's what my colleagues have told me, and I was easy to sacrifice when they were weighing the principle of standing on equality of treatment for all students, irrespective of color, versus trying to placate the angry mob. It was easy for them, at least they believe it was easy for them, to simply jettison me.
What do people have to understand tonight, sir, about academic institutions as incredibly important as UCLA, and what's happening to free thought and free inquiry?
It is absolutely a sad day for free inquiry. I cited in my email my belief in Martin Luther King's principles. I called Minnesota a tragedy, and this student himself who contacted me thanked me for getting them through troubling times, thanked me for sending them anti-racist materials. The school simply doesn't care. They want to placate the angry mob, and it's a tragedy for the future of education because historically and in the faculty code of conduct, you don't have a choice, you must grade people based on merit, and the school is disregarding its own policies in favor of the squeaky wheel, those who threaten to riot.
How much intellectual, ideological diversity, Professor, is there at UCLA today?
It's so tragic. It's so tragic. It makes my heart bleed. When I teach my classes, I tell people the first day, I'm going to call balls and strikes like any umpire. Sometimes you'll think I'm to the left. Sometimes you'll think I'm to the right. And I've done my job if you leave this class and you have no idea of my politics. I think I'm this rare unicorn, sadly, who believes in the importance of analyzing things irrespective. Sometimes people think I'm on the left, sometimes they think I'm on the right, and I just call it as neutral as I can, and I think that is the standard academia should apply. Sadly, I understand many do not.
But maybe your role going forward has to be to educate Americans on what they're missing about what's really happening on college campus. Would love to have you back because this story is wild. And there are many like it across the country, but they are trying to make an example out of you, sir. And I think you should fight back with everything you have. And if you have to file a lawsuit, I'll help write it for you, okay? I'm still a member of the California Bar, so I'll help you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Come back soon.
Thank you.